This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Everybody, it's another episode of the NFC East show where most of the teams are undefeated in this division, except the guy in the middle.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Hey, it only took them. It only took 7 quarters to score your first points of the season. But whatever.
Right? Hey, we got it done. Oh
Hey,
man,
that's all that matters.
jeez.
So
For a while
obviously,
there, I was a little worried about you, Sneaky.
I was there. I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
Oh man.
yeah, I made a video at halftime, and I'm taking full responsibility for the Giants' turnaround because
Yeah, I
I
bet
made
you
the
are.
video that said I started to laugh at the Giants, and next thing you know, they started scoring points, and Gannon got that and says, "What? I can't have any Eagles making funny videos for any reason." So,
That's
Gannon made sure to throw the rest of that game away. But for the first time in probably this century, the Washington football team, Commanders, Redskins, or anything,
Whatever month it is now, whatever name it is
Yeah.
this month.
can say
It'll
that
be
they are
changed next
undefeated
year.
after week 2.
I know. 2011, man. Can you believe that? 2011.
He had to
Wow.
look it up. He had to
No, I
look it
didn't.
up.
No, I knew that. Yeah, no, it was an ugly game, but I mean, at the end of the day, they got the W, so that's all that mattered. Started out 21-3. I had a few friends over watching the game, and I looked at them. I said, "Hey, we're just going to do what we did in the '87, Super Bowl." So, and we did. But man, I mean, between Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, I swear they've got like a horseshoe shoved up their butt because when it comes to Hail Marys, they get it done.
You know what though? Russell Wilson is a shell of himself that he was a few years ago. So I can't say for any certainty whatsoever. Hold on, we may have the fourth of our group showing up. We might not. He's looking like he's trying to figure it all
right.
out.
Perfect.
So some technical difficulties to start off the show, but anyways, let's start with the team in last place, the last team to score in the NFL season from Arizona. He was there.
I was at the
Sneaky
game.
G-Man.
I was
Tell us how upset and ready to commit, you know, you know,
I
whatever
was
atrocities at the end of the first half.
I was pissed. I actually yelled. I mean, it was so bad. The defense couldn't stop a cold. We were just letting everything run by us. We couldn't get a stop. Um, not only myself, but like other fans are. Oh, first off, the Giant fan base came out in drones. I mean, it was honestly a Giant home game. Um it wasn't a Cardinal game. It was a Giant home game. There was, I mean, I know that I read a report. It said it was 50-50. No, 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 no. It was more than that because I mean, I was looking in the stands. I was surrounded by Giant fans. I had maybe a trickle, little sprinkle of Cardinal fans around me. But anyway, I remember standing up. It was like a TV timeout, and I yelled out and I said, I was like, why? We're too good to be this bad. And everybody turned to limb. That's damn. They were like, giving me the thumbs up and saying, you're fucking, effing right. And we just looked confused. We didn't look like we had a plan. We just looked horrible. It was like a continuation of week one. And then all of a sudden, the second half came and we got our stuff together. And the Cardinals did score again in the third quarter, but then that was it. We turned it on. Jones woke up. The passes that he was missing in the first half, he was connecting in the second. The stops that the defense couldn't get in the first half, they were getting those stops in the second half. It was just, when I tell you it was the tale of two teams or the tale of two halves, however you want to articulate that, this game was it. This was the second. Okay, well, since 1950, this is the biggest point differential from the Giants in team history, and it was. I'm so lucky to have been there to see it happen. And I always had hope. I always had a feeling we were gonna. I don't know. I always had a feeling we were going to turn it on. I always had a feeling we were going to turn it on.
I was hoping that you guys were going to turn it on for your sake.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had to fly back home and go to work, and I don't want to deal with people. Bad enough I had to deal with the crap I had to deal with last week.
Oh, you're probably still dealing with it now.
Oh yeah, but you know what? I tell them that when Cowboy fans bring it up, I was like,
"Oh, I'm not talking about the Cowboy fans."
Oh, I'm talking about the Cowboy fans because those are the main. Those are the ones that's coming at me. They still put 40-0 on my Twitter or not either my Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, and I'm like, just like a typical Cowboys fan, they always want to reflect on the past.
Oh, says.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm calling it like it is.
Anyways, so obviously the Cardinals stink, and they looked like a good team in the first half, and you guys did not look very good at all. And then of course you guys were able to turn it around. It's like I literally put send on the video, and I tagged you in it, and the next thing you know, the Giants woke up. It was like it was hysterical, and I was going to make another video. I'm like, hey, yeah, Giants Nation or whoever you guys go by, you're welcome. That's I was going to do a video that said that because I take full responsibility that the moment I said something, it all turned around.
Yeah. I know the first half. I know even coming into the game, people were even coming into the stadium. The fans were like, "Yeah, we're tanking for Caleb," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, whatever." And then all of a sudden they started playing, but then the fans were cheering on the positive whatever plays that they were making. I'm like, "Yeah, MFers ain't tanking nothing." And then then of course we got we got hot and turned around. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna put it out there. I know Dable said that he was not calling plays. I'm thinking he was. My opinion is I mean, I know they were probably collabing him and Kifka, but this was the first time since Dable has been the head coach, he's actually had the play sheet chart with him. He didn't have it in the Cowboys game, and he didn't have it at all last year. But this is the first time I've actually seen him with the play sheet.
So you're saying that he started calling plays in the second half?
Yes, I believe so. Now
he's like, all right, I need to change this around. This is on me.
Well, I mean, ultimately it's going to be on him. So, and giving away a responsibility, he was an offensive coordinator before where he was calling plays for, Josh Allen and whatnot. And, I'm sure he missed that last year as a head coach, but there was no need because there was a rhythm and it was successful. And, I'm not surprised that, the week 1 incident or massacre, whatever you want to call it, Slivka was on a short leash.
We got some breaking news, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know how long it's been out. The Minnesota Vikings are acquiring running back Cam Akers from the Los Angeles Rams. It says it came out 30 minutes ago.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That's when I got it. Yeah, I got that notification 30 minutes ago.
How about that? Just to give you guys that little bit of heads up. Also, some breaking news that I heard from. I actually just heard a little bit ago on TikTok, but it's been out since this morning. That Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are dating.
She just needs another song to write. That's all.
I'm about to say, here comes another album. Here we go.
Yeah.
How the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Now they're going to say this is how the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Get out of here. I ain't interested. So, back to football. Like I said, Cam Akers going to the Vikings is not that good. I was going to go the opposite way. I expect to see breaking news that Kirk Cousins was going to be a New York Jet.
Oh, they're not going to. No, that's I don't know.
No, I don't think that's happening.
It might. It might.
Aaron Rodgers.
It might.
I thought it would have happened today.
No, I'm looking at week 4 for that to maybe come out.
See, this was the week I thought it would make a difference because he was not going to play for 10 days. So.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking week 4 in that scenario. If something's going to be done.
Well, I mean, but Rodgers is coming back.
And Kirk Cousins has only got a 1-year contract.
Exactly.
He's
right,
on the last year of
and
his
they
contract.
can't they can't tag him. I mean, that's in his contract.
Exactly.
But I don't. I think the relationship that the head coach and Rodgers have. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I just don't see that happening. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't see Rodgers going somewhere. But
no. Rodgers isn't going anywhere.
I mean, I'm sorry. I meant Cousins. I'm sorry, Cousins.
And you might see it as an 0-2 start for Minnesota, and that's what's the tempting part per se for both organizations. Well, we're 0-2. What are we going to get out of this situation? What are we going to acquire? What are we going to get for trades? What are we going to get for the draft? So, I mean, if it's going to happen, I say week 4 just to get out of the scenario, especially if Minnesota suffers another loss.
Yeah, but how do you do that now after you trade for Cam Akers? What do you try to trade? Whatever pick you just got, you get back?
Yeah, whatever you can get. And that's why I say it's all dependent on this game. You're going into let's go into week 4. Let's get week 3 done with and then go from there.
This move is a little shocking to me because
which one?
The picking up of the running back, Cam Akers. From the Rams. Look, you had you had Cook as a running back who's familiar with your system. You could have got him for cheap, right? And you release him. And then yet you pick up another running back. Why release him in the first place if your need was going to be a running back? That doesn't make sense to me.
Money.
I'm saying the money situation. It's going to be a money situation.
I get that, right? But you can still negotiate the cost, right? Because we know that the market for the running backs, he wasn't going to get more than 10 mil, right? And matter of fact, with the Jets, isn't he only getting like 8? I mean, you mean to tell me he couldn't stay in Minnesota for $8 million a year?
It's just a different environment too. He's looking
No,
at he's not looking at the money standpoint anymore. He thought he was going to go in with Aaron Rodgers and do something. You got to remember he shuffled down to Miami as well. So he was looking for an opportunity to be in a bigger market. And he saw it and he took it, and he wasn't worried about the money, you know, being the advertisement and everything else that was going to come along with being in those big cities. So from a financial standpoint, okay, he was taking a loss with the team, but from an overall perspective of financials, he probably could have been gaining something with those bigger markets.
But regardless, he took a loss financially.
No, well, that's why I'm saying that in the football scheme of things, yes, on the NFL side, but from a marketing situation, he could have been gaining something financially with those bigger markets. You know, whatever endorsements he could be getting with those markets from New York City, from endorsing restaurants or food or whatever it may have been, including Miami. So he was looking at it from that opportunity.
You know, but for me, as looking at, I'm not a GM, but putting on a GM hat, you release a running back, a top tier running back, to get someone less than, because I don't think Akers is.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem I have with this. With what you're about to say.
Well, no, I'm just saying it just does not make sense, and this football move does not make sense.
The only reason why I even know this, I have him on my fantasy team. It's not Dalvin Cook. Last week he got minus 0.03 or 0.3 points.
Who, Cook did?
First week he stunk too.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's not. It doesn't matter. See, this is where. So Dalvin Cook is going to be used as the example, not as but he's going to be the reason why these running backs and this whole situation is going to happen right now with the NFLPA and the NFL, as it was announced today, or it may have been yesterday, that Roger Goodell and the NFL are suing the NFL Players Association for them to cease and desist their way that they are dealing with running backs. It was a big deal. And they're saying that it's a collusion. It's a collusion of running backs across the board by the NFLPA, because running backs right now the value of the running back is very, very, very low.
Yeah, it's like 10 mil. 10 million. That's like 10 million a year.
Yeah,
that's what the
going
rate is.
It takes a lot for a lawsuit to be, it has to be more than alleged for lawsuits to be. There's something there for them to pull a trigger like this.
And I'm still going off of this this Dalvin Cook release.
You got to look at it.
I kind of feel like this is a frivolous thing too.
Well, I know, but I'm just going to say this. All I'm saying is I don't know. I want to say the neglect of the GM, because look, I'm looking at Dalvin Cook's stats. Look, 1,100 plus, 1,500 plus, 1,100 plus, 1,100 plus, the last 4 seasons. And now I don't even know what I'll look up Akers, but I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Let's look at it from the standpoint of what was he going to get tagged in Minnesota?
No.
This year.
Well, no, I mean, he got released. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
They were going to, I don't know if the situation where he didn't want to get tagged or he didn't sign the tag.
So there could be something there with the GM saying, you know what, I respect him. I want him. I'm just going to break terms, let him go on his own, let him go make his own deal. He didn't want to tag. Minnesota probably didn't want to tag him, that there was some mutual agreement there. I mean, we can't always say we want to tag him and hold on to him, and the guy's not going to want to play for us. So it's mutual respect both ways. I'll release you. I'll release your contract. Go ahead and go on your own way. We'll find somebody else.
Yeah,
you can't always think the negativity from the GM standpoint. You got to say
Cam Akers, right? We're talking about Cam Akers going to the Vikings, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna move on. It's a downgrade, and I'm gonna rest with that.
It is a downgrade. You're right. It's an upgrade from Madison, though. It's an upgrade from Madison.
Yep.
But that's
Either.
part of what's going on. But back to the one division in football that has the least amount of losses amongst all the divisions. With second, would you believe second in the divisional race of the NFL is the NFC South
Yeah.
with 6
Would have never
wins.
thought that.
How about that?
Thought for sure NFC West would
So
have been second, but
No, and then that's because of the game that was last night or Monday night, New Orleans and Carolina. So that's what downgraded that.
Yeah, they beat up on each
right,
other.
Yeah.
yeah.
right. Well, that's because Carolina's got 2 losses because they had 2 divisional matches
Yep.
the first 2 weeks. That's so unfortunately you're going to have a loss. We've only had 1 divisional match, which is why we're 7-1. And it was goofy to kind of see out there that hey, we have 7 wins between us, because we haven't fought really each other, obviously, other than the Giants and Dallas. But
Yep.
uh, the Eagles on Thursday night, uh, the offense, maybe, you know what I mean. They got some help. Yeah, they still got some work to do. The defense is kind of carrying them a little bit, but still, I mean, Justin Jefferson was going to get his. They still have some issues where there's a little bit of confusion in that secondary because they had guys wide open. They had like wide open on a
Wide
couple
open,
of
yeah.
plays that like nobody was around them from 10, 15 yards. But you know what? I don't mind that we're not clicking on all cylinders because if we were clicking on all cylinders now, I mean, you can't win the Super Bowl in week 2.
That's
You're right
right.
about that.
And
So,
from what I saw, from
yeah,
what I saw, the Eagles doing it just the defense is what saved the day for the Eagles. I think they were playing, lights
Yep.
out for what they were, on such a short week. But yeah, the offensive side of the ball, I'm not seeing any continuity there. I'm not seeing, and especially the emotions that were driven on the sideline between quarterback and wide receiver. I just, you can see there was some nonchalant disagreements there that were being shown on
Talk
national
about
TV.
between AJ Brown and Hurts, right?
Yeah, and you could
right. It was
see that.
AJ Brown. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open. And then he threw it to him, and he bobbled the ball.
Well,
But it was a
yeah,
forced throw. It was a forced throw.
yeah, and that's the
So
thing. You can see it, so it is what it is.
I ain't worried about that. Last year, it was
And
Devonta
and it's
Smith doing that.
and again, it's week 2. I mean,
Yep.
it's still thoroughly.
Still preseason.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
It's not
exactly
even the
correct.
first full month out of the league. So
However, I will say that every Cowboys fan in the world, minus True Blue, is ready to crown them the Super Bowl champions. Because
yeah,
obviously they have the best team of all time playing right now, and it's and I trust me, I've been hearing it a lot from every Cowboys fan out there that
yeah, me
they are
too.
Super Bowl
Me
champions
too.
of Week 2.
I've already seen
Yeah,
3.
we got
I've already
18. We got 18 weeks to go, man. 18
I've
weeks to
already
go.
I've already seen 3 Super Bowl champion tattoos out there.
Already,
I don't doubt that.
I have seen a new tattoo of yours truly on somebody else's leg.
I
So
saw that too.
you know
I
that
saw that. Yeah,
I hadn't seen that yet.
one
it's
yet. Yeah.
that's dedication.
oh, you
That
hadn't
is
seen
dedication.
it. Here, I'll let you guys talk for a second. I'll pull it up. The
There you go.
tattoo heard around the world, or seen around the
Heard or seen?
world.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with seen around
Washington
the world.
with their first. Yeah, seen, not heard. And then Washington going ahead and winning their second game for the first, in 2 weeks for the first time since Nixon was
2011.
president.
Nixon, get out of here, bro. I mean, it was definitely an ugly start. Against good teams, you definitely can't start that way. But the thing I really like about EB is just his, in game, just changing it up. I mean, the offense we just couldn't move the damn ball, and then finally, I think it was after it was in the second quarter, I think it was. We had a good drive. Sam Howell threw a beautiful pass in the end zone in a very tight window between, I think it was 3 defenders, to Terry McLaurin for a touchdown. I think it was like a 36-yard, pass. So it was exciting to see how, I think he's the first quarterback since Kurt Warner to start 3-0 and also have 2 touchdowns in all 3 games. So that was that's pretty exciting. So we all know how Kurt Warner's career went. So I'm not saying Sam Howell's that, but hey, bring some excitement back to Washington finally.
Yeah, it's looking at the highlights, it was just like the Giants game. I'm gonna have to say,
Yeah.
Denver. You guys had a light switch. You hit it on there towards the end of the game was very, very interesting with the whole 50-yard pass from
that's what
from
I was
Wilson.
telling. Yeah, that's what I was telling the guys before the show started. Was between Wilson and Rodgers. Those 2 guys, it's like they've got a lucky horseshoe shoved up their butt. And when it comes to a Hail Mary, they just pull it out and they pull it off. So
Yeah, it bounced and then it went there. But again, when we were talking last week about the Denver Broncos and their play right now, I know that they signed Russell Wilson for all this money. I just don't see him being in that system any much longer after this year.
No, after this year. I mean, if he continues the play that he's having, no. There's Sean Payton is too impatient.
Yep.
Too impatient to be waiting on anybody to
that could be Kirk Cousins' landing ground.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think that he's mobile enough or he has the arm for what Sean Payton's looking for.
Mobile. Well, I mean, think about it. Drew Brees was not mobile.
No, but he had the accuracy.
Right. Well, I mean, Kurt is somewhat accurate. I'll give him that.
Not when it gets to over the middle of the field. And that's where Sean Payton likes to play at.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
So what was your biggest take from Washington and them playing? Was it your defensive side that won the game? Was it your offensive side that won that game?
I mean, I think it was a combination. Really, defense started out slow. But Jack Del Rio, he started calling some blitzes. It's like I don't know why he just doesn't do it. I call blitz every play. I mean, with our defensive line, why not? I want to see more blitzing, and so I think it was a combination of both. We started out very slow, obviously going down 21-3, and then, coming out of halftime, made some adjustments, and defensively, oh my God, that is a beautiful tattoo. That is a nice
tattoo.
Damn, that is.
So, and I tell you, this guy lives in Dallas. By the way, he's an Eagles fan in Dallas, Texas, in Austin, actually, of all places. So he's your neighbor, true, and he, and some tattoo artist did it down there in Dallas. I did a great job. I mean, whoever is that tattoo artist, I may go down there and get one myself because he did that good a job.
They should have did the portrait from Sunday Night
Football. Say that you've seen it.
That looks good.
So, and actually, we were on a picture again. They used us. The local television station, one of the local television stations, used a picture of the 2 of us, True, in their promotion on whether Dallas is our biggest concern this year for the Eagles.
Yeah,
and they used the picture of us kind of in the boxing movie.
Oh, the pose per se. Yeah, there's a lot of football. There's a lot of football left, and that's why moving to the Jets game, Cowboys game. There was a lot of things I saw that was I had to soak in per se. Field goal kicker had 16 points for us, and with the touchdowns and everything else, I just didn't see enough churning on the offensive side. But then I started to think about, the situation at hand with the offense and what the scheme of things is with McCarthy's calling everything else. And I just think it was part of what was going on. They wanted to. They're not wanting to put themselves out there just yet with the play calling. They're wanting, if we're scoring, we're scoring. If we're staying in the lead, we're going to keep the lead. There's nothing to show off right now. There's no, we're just a truck with all these Cadillacs behind it. It's just going to be something that moving forward, I really don't think the offense is going to turn and burn and start scoring all these points. Just, they're going to let it happen, and they're going to turn it on when it needs to turn on.
Well, I wanted to ask you that. I mean, does it bother you that, you're going into the third game of the season and no wide receiver has caught a touchdown yet?
No. And that's part of what I'm saying is that they're not concerned with the type of play calling that's being done. As long as the Cowboys are scoring and keeping a lead, I think they're going to keep it at that scenario. Are they going to be throwing it outside, inside? Of course. Are they worried about, wide receivers making the long hauls and getting touchdowns? I don't think right now. I think they're going all in and with what's working. And, again, 16 points is still enough to beat the Jets. They only scored 10. So that's where I'm saying there's a long season ahead. They're not worried about what type of scoring as long as they're scoring and holding the lead.
However, if you remember correctly, I called that. I almost called not necessarily the score, but the score was a little bit higher. But I mean, your kicker kicked 5 field goals, and I
Correct.
said that I didn't think that they were going to score touchdowns. That they were going to finish drives with field goals, and it would be enough to beat them, and that it would be like a 19-10 game. So I mean, I wasn't really far off from that in a weird sense. You kick another field goal and another touchdown, and you got 30. So it's because I think they went for 2, didn't they? For some reason.
Yes. They did go for 2.
They went for 2.
Yeah, there was a penalty involved and everything else, but yeah, and again, that's where I'm getting at the scenario that I think they're not too busy or they're not too worried about making touchdowns right now. It's just all about how they're going to score and if they're going to keep the lead. I don't think they want to put themselves out there showing what they have and open up the playbook. Basically, they're going to keep running the same plays. They're going to get to what works, and what's working right now is just these little dink and dunk tosses and the rush, and if it's open, it's open. I don't think they're too worried about it.
I mean, it's the same way for us. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Sneaky. Our offensive coordinator in the first half, things weren't working. He said, you know what, let's switch to the run. They can't stop the run. Next thing you know, we got the offensive player of the week.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and see, and from our scenario, it's game management or clock management, I should say. Is if we're holding the ball and we're driving down the field and we're eating 5 minutes here, 7 minutes here, and we're still up in the score, why score? It's not going to be like the San Francisco Rams game with 7 seconds on the left on the clock and rushing in to get a field goal, even though there was no chance to win that game. I don't know if you guys caught the end of that game.
I didn't see that. No.
So the spread is 7.
He just screwed the bettors.
Yeah, I mean literally.
He
7 seconds
literally
left
screwed
in
the
game,
bettors.
and you rush a field goal kicker on the field with 7 seconds to try and score 3 points to offset everything. I mean, you play till the whistle, right?
Yeah.
So if you can remember a few years back, not last year, the year before last, the Cowboys' MO is that they couldn't beat a team with a winning record. And obviously it's still early, right? And you guys are going to have some contenders, because all of us, we all have a hard, difficult schedule this season.
Yep.
Aren't you worried about playing against potential playoff teams and not being as competitive?
No. Again, I'm going back to the scenario of game management, clock management. We've got Arizona coming up. We're going to go in there and we're going to do exactly what we did the first 2 games, just game management, clock management. I think when we get New England back, they played some good ball against Miami Sunday Night Football. Of course, I was driving back, so I was just hearing the game. But the biggest one, of course, after that is going to be San Francisco. So I'm not going to be worried about what weapons aren't being used right now. We'll see come week 5.
I see you have San Francisco and the Chargers in that back
Yep.
to back. So that's going to be interesting. You know,
Yep.
especially I'm going to be honest. I'm being hypocritical. I'm just myself. I am focusing on 49ers, but I am interested in seeing, the Chargers offense against your defense. That's going to be a game to watch just for those. And not to put anything past San Francisco. I'm just saying we'll find out if Herbert is who they say Herbert is.
Yeah, and I had an interesting I had an interesting take from and took away from what Jimmy Johnson was having the explanation about the Cowboys offense this season. And it just hit exactly everything that I've been thinking as far as, McCarthy running the offense compared to Kellen Moore. And one of the reasons I didn't like Kellen Moore was because it wasn't the play calling. It wasn't anything like that. There was no game management, no clock management. He was just trying. He's a young kid. He was wanting to score. Again, not a problem if you're a young offensive coordinator. But when you're the head coach and you know the defense that you have and you know the offense that you have, you don't want to be rushing through, 2 minutes worth of game and then you don't score. And that's what was going on with Kellen Moore. We would get the ball. We'd be four and out. And we'd be done with that in 2 minutes. And that's what was killing us last year. We would get the ball. I mean, Jacksonville was a great, scenario where we had a minute and a half left in the game, and all we had to do was get one first down, and we didn't. We punted the ball because why? He wanted to score. He wanted to go downfield. There was no clock management, no game management. And I'm seeing that from Coach McCarthy this year. And that's exactly what Jimmy Johnson was saying. When you're young, you want to score a lot of touchdowns. When you're the head coach and you're also calling plays, you want to control that clock. You want to make sure that you can control everything that's in front of you, not try and move past what you're going to be with 4 downs and out.
Real quick.
And I understand that. I understand that thought process, but go ahead.
So, no, I just want to say real quick, Barkley's out for tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh,
Barkley,
yeah. I think he's out for a couple of
Thomas.
weeks, isn't he?
Well, no, the reports came out that he was going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Then Dable came out yesterday saying he's basically day to day. And because he's a quick healer, he claimed that he feels better than he did the day before.
Right.
And that there's a possibility, don't count him out. But no, he's out. And Thomas is out as well.
Yep.
Rondell Robinson and I can't remember who else was good. Shoot, there was another player that's questionable.
And seeing the highlights from Barkley on the sideline just said everything. You're throwing down the helmet. It hurt me to see him go through this injury yet again. As a football lover and as a fan of football, to see him go through that pain of not being able to be there for his teammates. That stuff sets in as a fan of football. And he's such a good player. It's just like you don't want to see anybody get hurt, first of all. But for somebody who's been hurt previous season, it sucks. It really does. And I hope he gets well soon because I like seeing him on the field. The kid is magic, man. I like seeing him run around out there, and I hope to see him soon here again against other teams.
That's why he was trying to rush back.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to hold him out for tomorrow's game. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back for the following week. So.
Well, as long as he's healed.
If this game was on a Sunday, he'd probably play.
Oh, exactly.
Probably,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that tweet didn't look good.
Yeah, the Eagles had a couple of guys that did the exact same way, that were in the exact same situation. Had they played on Sunday, a lot of our guys that were out would have been playing. So, all right. Well, let's talk about. We're going to go to, since you already brought up the injury report. We're going to go to the Giants on Thursday Night Football versus the San Francisco Whiners, because they like to cry when they lose. They haven't lost yet, so they haven't heard any crying. The over-under is 44.5, and the Giants are a 10-point dog.
Yeah.
In San Fran?
in San
Yeah.
Francisco.
That's right. We Giants stay same schedule as us.
Yeah. Oh, and it was McFadden and Robinson. They're listed at questionable now.
Yes.
So,
Correct.
well, I'll start it off. Look, it's tough when we play against the 49ers. It's a close, hard-fought game. When I think of the 49ers and the New York Football Giants, I think of Leonard Marshall taking out Joe Montana. That's just that's just what I envision every time I hear that game. And then with Manning against Smith as an epic conference championship game. Obviously, I'm going Giants, and I'm going to say it's going to be like a 28-24 game or like a 20-16 game. Giants.
Nice.
I'm hoping Wink. I'm hoping we can finally get our first sack of the season, and we can disrupt. We won't let Purdy look Purdy in the backfield. Throwing the ball tomorrow night.
What and that's a scenario. You said you haven't had one sack, and leading down that defensive side of the field. What do you see as a weakness for the defense? Is it the defensive line? Is it the linebackers? Is it what is it that you see that's not working on the defensive side of the ball to get you a sack?
Well, I mean, the fact that by the time the ball gets to the quarterback, he's already making his decision. I mean, we were close Sunday. We were close, but they were just releasing the ball. I mean, that was it. I mean, they were doing stunts. We had corner blitzes. I mean, they were throwing a lot of things at Phoenix. Just couldn't connect. And the time that we did connect, they called roughing the passer. So it's like, come on, refs.
I saw my fair share of those this weekend.
It was something else. So, I mean, I'm hoping Wink can make some adjustments and we can put some more pressure on the quarterback, or we're just not going to be threatening in the NFC East.
And that's the thing about San.
So I'm going to go ahead.
Go for
it. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to be a surprise week for the Giants. I feel like the reason why they didn't score points in the first half is that they were actually looking ahead towards San Francisco. And there was an oh crap moment at halftime, and they were able to pull it together and beat them. But I feel like that for the last 2 weeks, they were planning for the 49ers, and they thought they'd sleepwalk through Arizona. I have an upset here. I have the Giants upsetting the 49ers, and I think it's going to be not like a blowout, but fairly. I think it's going to be like the score's not going to dictate the game, but it's going to be like a 26-17 or 28-17, 31-21 game.
So wait, are you taking the Giants with the points?
That's what he said.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants to win outright.
Okay, all right. I like that.
And I can see exactly where you're coming from with that, because it's probably the same scenario for the 49ers right now, who are sleeping through the Giants, who are saying, you know what, we've got the Giants this week, let's worry about the game following that week. That's that same scenario. I believe the Niners are sleeping on the Giants right now and have that same scenario. And I think, the Giants might pull this one out as well. And it's going to be a closer game than people think, just because of what they're going to come out with. And I believe the Giants are going to win 23-21, the last minute, last second field goal.
I'm just trying to see if Jesus is coming back.
Oh man.
Okay,
I don't know
Brian.
what. I mean, you guys have convinced me. I think the game is going to be it's going to be 49ers 40 to Giants 0.
Oh, you're an asshole. Oh, you're an ass.
I think they'll score. They'll score. It'll be 40-3. Now I don't see this one being close, man. Without Barkley, I I can't see it. The defense.
Don't sleep on Breida now. Breida's a beast.
He's good. And didn't he play for the 49ers too at one point?
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
I think so too. So it might come into play, but I think their defense, 49ers defense, is going to be too much for you guys. I think maybe a 24-17 game, but I don't. I think 49ers are going to win.
All right. So there we go. We have 3-1, where it's the Giants, which is rare that we all choose the underdogs, except Work Ryan, who we already know he's not good at picking these games. So, anyways.
Hey, I'm pretty sure my record's better.
Here
than
we go.
this year, buddy.
This is a tough one to choose here. The Buffalo Bills go into Washington as a 6.5-point favorite against the Washington Commanders, over under at 43.5.
I'll let you guys go. I'll go last.
So let me ask you this: the past 2 games, Pork Rind, has there been a 100-yard rusher for the opposing team?
You talk about against our defense?
Yes.
No.
So so that's one working in your favor. Right. Has there been a 300+ yard passer against you guys?
No.
Russell Wilson threw for 308.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, he did. I forgot.
That 50-yarder.
I forgot. Yeah, the Hail Mary. Yes.
Yep.
Put him over. Yes.
Yeah, the reason I say that is because Josh Allen is going to walk in there and start throwing the ball. He's going to be running around, and I think there's a little weight on his shoulders. It's not just him. I think his whole offensive side is still reeling from that Jets game, and they're going to want to go into Washington and try and prove something. Now, are they? I don't know, but I do have them winning just by the sheer fact of what they're trying to accomplish this week. I have Buffalo winning 24-17.
I'll go next. Buffalo 40. Commanders nothing. Actually, Commanders -16. Put it on the board. I'm
so
petty.
Saying,
yes,
so
yes, I'm
Be
petty.
a safety.
I'm petty. I'm petty. Shit.
Hey, why not, right?
I think that the Commanders are going to be able to get a couple of short fields. They got to be able to convert. I think that they are going to get like a couple of field goals in the first half, and then they're going to have a hard time scoring. I think that they're going to wind up. They're not going to be able to keep up with them. I think that they win. They drive down the field and they kick a field goal, and then Buffalo scores a touchdown, and then they go down and drive down the field and they kick a field goal, and it's going to look close. But then Buffalo's going to go down and score another touchdown, and you're going to feel like the need to catch up, that they're going to need to start pushing things a little bit more, and they're not going to be kicking the field goals, and it's going to wind up being like a 30-6 game. I think that Buffalo really is going to, and I think it's going to expose the offense a little bit with Howell at quarterback. And I think that, like I said, they're going to have decent drives. They're going to move the ball, but they're not going to finish. And since they're not going to go for field goals, they're going to wind up turning over on downs a lot in this game.
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys that just always picks the home team. I think the Bills are going to be, obviously, it's going to be a challenging game. Josh Allen's going to come in there with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is from the area, so of course he'll probably have a ton of family and friends at the game. So, and I expect they're obviously Bills travel really well, so there will be a lot of Bills Mafia there too. I'm thinking it's going to be a 21-17 game. I hate to say it, I think Commanders will lose their first game. I'm hoping it's reverse psychology.
I like the way you think. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a complete game from them yet. and until I do, they're just gonna have to prove it to me. I mean, I like the adjustments. I like the in-game adjustments EB makes, but I want to see a complete game. I'm hoping that this is it because we've got to win one out of the next two games. Because right after the Bills we have the Eagles, so it's gonna be a tough road
And we
ahead.
know you ain't winning that one.
Oh, well, okay.
We don't know.
You said
So,
that
but
last
all
year
right.
on that
So,
Monday night game.
well, I know, but that's all right. All right. The next game we have is at 4 o'clock. It is. Where is it at? I know I just had it here a second ago. There it is. The Dallas Cowboys travel to Arizona where the Giants just were. They're taking up the residents in the same hotel. Hopefully, the Giants didn't leave any upper deckers in those rooms. And, you get as an 11.5 point favorite and a 43.5 over and under.
Yeah, it is going to be an over. I think the Cowboys are going to continue what they're going to be doing. They're really not going to be pressing the gas. They're just going to be riding idle, and I think it's going to be around 34, maybe 34-13 is going to be the score. It's just, again, they're going to be in control of the ball. It's going to be a game clock situation, and they're really not going to be striving to score a lot of points with that offense. So it is what it is. I think that's how the scenario is going to be.
So I
So,
think for me,
I
go ahead.
and
No, I just want
so
to jump in real quick. I want to say that we're going to see one of two things happen. Either Arizona continue to have the hangover of what they had in their hands on Sunday, and they still lose, or they realize their mistakes and maybe shock the world. Now you might want to put this on the calendar. That's not going to happen. The Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
you have a score prediction?
3-2.
No.
They get a safety. It's going to be really close.
3-2. Yeah.
Look, I picked Cowboys. At least let's just move on from that, okay?
Yeah.
That's painful enough.
You need some mouthwash.
I do, right? I need to take a shower. I feel dirty now.
What did you say the points were? 43 and a half?
11.5 and 43.5.
43. Yeah. I think Cowboys defense scores more points than their offense this week. I think it's going to be a 56-3. It's going to be a blowout. I mean, it's going to be. I honestly, I'm starting to feel bad for Cardinals a little bit.
Well, feel bad for them after you beat them. No, you already beat them. That's right. Now you can feel bad for them.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It wasn't as pretty as what the Cowboys are about to do to them this week. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Cardinals are that great of a team. I think, it's like Philly said earlier, the Giants were looking past them, looking at the 49ers game. That's the reason why it looked better, on paper than what it really was. Yeah, Cowboys are going to keep on rolling. And, hopefully they're getting it out of your system now and you blow it the first round of the playoffs.
I want to give you props because last week you even said, I hope your team leaves the game healthy because they're headhunters. Yeah, we left there Barkley, Brenison, a couple more than hurt out the game.
Wow.
And you called it. You called it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Cowboys do the same.
Oh yeah.
Well, and what I agree with your statement that I think that the defense is going to score more than the offense. I think that the storyline after this week, even though the Cowboys are going to romp here, and I think they are going to romp, it's going to be, again, like a 30-10 game. I think that their offense is going to get stymied a little bit. And the talk is going to be, are we able to finish drives? The reason why I think it's going to be a lot closer is that Gannon has was our defensive coordinator and has played against the Cowboys over the last couple of years. So he knows a little bit of the tendencies of this thing. Now, I know it's a different offense and such like that, but he knows the players that he's going up against. And I think that what's going to happen here is that you're going to have drives that are going to take up time, but they're not going to finish in the end zone. And you're going to see a lot more field goals again with this team, and that this is going to be the MO for the conversation going forward. Are the Cowboys able to finish these drives? I think that the defense is going to score a couple touchdowns in the process of that. Micah Parsons is a man possessed right now. He seems to be
Yes,
in
he
on
is.
every play. Nobody can seem to block him. Nobody can seem to even get hands on him to try to block him. So I got it. I got it as at like a 30-10. I don't see 56 points. I don't see a lot of points. I agree with you, True, in the fact that you guys are going to be methodical with the way that you do things. But I think that it's going to be like a lot of unfinished drives and coming out of drives with 3 points rather than 7.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah, and
which
I think
goes
I
to
think
our last game.
yep.
Good.
No. I'm go.
Oh, you got. And the last game we have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philly Sports Guy traveling down to Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are a 5-point favorite and a 46.5-point spread.
Mm,
I'll go first with this one. I feel that they are going to get a little bit more going together on offense. They've had 10 days to put the offense together, so I think they're going to click a lot more. I feel like the defense is just getting settled on their own. They're doing their things, and they're going to kind of get it all together. That this is still the preseason for them. I got the Eagles winning this game. It's going to be close. Tampa Bay is turning out to be a little bit better of a team than everyone thought they were.
Mhm.
I got it. The 5 points. 5 points is a funny spread. Is a very funny spread. I got this game as like a 28-27 game that the Eagles win. When you get 5 points and 5.5 points, that's an underdog line. That tells you that the underdog should win that game when I see those things. So I think this is going to be a lot closer than we're used to. It could be like 30-27 or 30-28 or 27-28, 28-27. I got the Eagles winning it, but I wouldn't take them against the points. I would do just the money line on this one.
yeah. Well, I'm going to take a different scenario because of what you said. Tampa Bay playing a little bit better than what they have, and after what I saw last week, Tampa Bay taking on the Lions, it was I'm not going to say Baker Mayfield is playing phenomenal, but he is playing good ball, and he was able to encourage the rest of his teammates to start playing a little bit better. And again, this isn't going to be a high scoring game, with the defense and the offense of the Eagles. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Tampa Bay is going to prevail, though, with that 5-point line. So I think it's going to be like a 23-20 game.
So I'm looking at the stats right now, and the where was I looking at so Tampa Bay is ranked 9th in passing. Eagles are ranked 29th in passing, and then you got the defense. You have Tampa Bay ranked 2nd against the rush, but guess who's number 1 against the rush? Philly.
Yep.
Number one rushing. Yeah.
Yes. So I agree with the low scoring game. I could almost see this being like a 17-14 or a 17-10 type of game. Um, and I mean, when you look at the two defenses, it looks like Philly is 16th points allowed, and then you have Tampa Bay at 8. This is gonna be oh man, I'm kind of I don't know who to pick.
Hey, we're running out of time here. You're taking up all 10
all right.
minutes.
I'll go with the damn home team. I'll take Tampa Bay 17-13.
No. Okay.
I've got Tampa Bay winning 14-10. I think Tampa Bay's defense is playing lights out right now, and Eagles' offense just continue to struggle, and I think you'll see that again this week. So,
Yep.
I say Tampa 14-10.
All right.
Oh, that was tough.
So here we have it. Hey, listen, before we get hopped in, I know you were stuck here in that black hole of looking at statistics.
Yeah,
I
I'm just like,
understand. Mr. Analytics of our group.
I wanted to pick Philly, but anyway, go ahead.
So as a group, I want to wish a quick get better fast for Nick Chubb, and that was such a gruesome injury. It's I saw the picture today. I hadn't seen it. I only heard about it, and it was like, woof. Yeah, your leg's not supposed to go that way. So I wish him all the best. It's possible he may never play football again, which is probably likely, but it's a shame, and I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that as the NFC East group, that we wish you all the best in getting better and getting that repaired and fixed. So. But we are finished our hour. Our hours always go by fast, and we always seem to be going over now. So, and we always seem to be in a baseball game. So, listen, we were doing everything a little against the grain here. Yeah, and so we will be back next week when you get to talk about how the Eagles are 3-0, and everybody else is still not doing as well as the
2-1.
They're always looking up at us.
Receipts.
But. As always, we'll see you next week. And
let's go Giants.
How about them Cowboys?
Nothing?
Go Birds. Yeah.